Hello everyone, I'm your host Akuma, and welcome to a very special video on Morrowind Enchanting. This video is being recorded immediately after I finished recording Morrowind episode 88. Well, not immediately. I have done some stuff right after that episode ended to prepare for this. For starters, let's open up my inventory and we'll get into the intro of this video. Kevin is now carrying 1,511 points of items on him. He's got a whole lot of equipment. I have never, ever had anywhere near this amount of stuff on me. I've never seen anybody carry this kind of stuff on me. And it's all been in preparation for this enchantment video. There's going to be a lot we're going to go through, and this may be the longest video I've ever recorded. Some of you are probably not going to be interested in everything that happens here. Some of you might not be interested at all. This is going to be a sort of explanation on the enchantment. I don't know if it will count entirely as a tutorial, but I will be going into as much information as I can to give you guys as much information as I can. So I'm going to do my very best to get into the enchantment episode. Now, before I get into this again, like I said, there's going to be a lot of stuff involved in this. If you go down to the description box right now, go ahead and scroll down and click the read more. You will see that there is a whole bunch of links that will link you to different parts of this video. So if you want to see a specific part, or you don't want to see a specific part, you can jump around in the timeline and see what you want to see. We won't get into the actual enchanting of Kevin's items for quite a while, but that should help you figure out what you want to figure out when it comes to the whole enchantment process. Go ahead and scroll back up now because I'm going to talk to you. For starters, we're going to talk about how to enchant items. As I'm getting into this, I'm going to say that I have written down some notes that will help me to try to explain this to you guys, and I am also looking on the Wikipedia to ensure that everything I tell you is as accurate as I can make it. I haven't read through completely everything that there is to read. I haven't done all the math that is involved. Yes, there's a lot of math, but I will try to stupefy it for you because I know there's a lot of people who are going to skip over some parts. I will try to keep this as simple as I can and try to make it as entertainingly informative as possible. I don't know how I'm going to do this, or how well I'm going to do this, I should say, but we'll see what we can do. Here we go. You guys asked me to do an enchanting episode back at Morrowind 64. It's been a while. It's been a few months, and we're finally going to get this done. I don't know when this video is going to come out, but I'm going to record it today. We're going to get this done, and whatever happens in this video will have a long-lasting, permanent effect throughout the rest of the series, and I may come back in between episodes to do a little bit more enchanting of my own if I ever have the money. There's a lot of money involved in enchanting. So let's start this off. The first thing you want to know is how to enchant. There are two ways to do this. First thing you can do is find an enchanter, and there are quite a few of them. The simplest one you can find, and may remember, is Galbadir at the top floor of the Mages Guild in Balmora, where we are right now. This is where I'm going to do probably all of my enchanting because she's the most familiar and the easiest person I know how to get to. The other way is to enchant things yourself, but enchanting things yourself is unreliable. Let's scroll all the way through our inventory here, all the way over, and we've got quite a few soul gems to choose from. We've got quite a few common soul gems that I've filled up a long time ago. We have Azura Star with a golden saint in it, which is worth a freaking ton of money, 2 million gold. We've got a greater soul gem with the Frost Atronach, 2 grand soul gems with another golden saint, and I will be using both of these and the Azura Star golden saint to enchant anything that I want to keep permanently. Aside from that, we also have a petty soul gem with a rat in it, and a lesser soul gem with a blighted rat in it, because a blighted rat would probably not fit into a petty soul gem. That's kind of interesting. Now, there are some stuff I haven't written down, and I want to address one of these real fast to you. You're probably wondering why I need so many soul gems, and why exactly I want the Grand Soul Gem or the Azura Star for the Golden Saint. Well, I've sort of addressed this before, but I'm going to reiterate it just so that you guys are aware. Every enemy in this game, every creature, in fact every person in this game, has a soul count on them. They have a specific level of soul, and you can only capture that level of soul if you have a high enough quality soul gem to stick it in. For instance, the petty soul gem, which is carrying the rat soul, it's only valued at 100 points. And it's a filled soul gem, so it will cost a little bit more. For instance, the lesser soul gem, which is a higher quality soul gem, is only worth 20 when it's empty, but if you fill it with a blighted rat, it's suddenly worth 200. And then we've got the grand soul gems, which have a golden saint in them. At base price they're 200, but if you stick a golden saint in them, they're worth a heck of a lot more. And that's calculated based on some stuff that I don't know and I don't care about, and I didn't write down for this episode because it's not really related to enchanting, but it's a little bit more information that you guys could probably look into. Whereas the Azura Star is worth 2 million, which is about 2.5 times the filled Grand Soul Gem, even though it has the same level of soul in it. Now if you want to look at the statistics on what souls can fit into which soul gems, here's a few pictures that I took for reference purposes. You can see that there are quite a bit of souls available for every soul gem. And a soul gem can hold a soul of any level that is equal to or lesser than the number count that it has on it, pretty much. For instance, you're not going to be able to fill up a 1-gallon milk jug with 2 gallons. Yeah, it's just impossible. It's going to overflow, and basically the soul gem cannot contain the soul. The soul will escape, and it's completely pointless. It won't even try to begin to capture and hold the soul. So that's how soul capture basically works in here. Now, as I was saying, there are 2 ways to do this. We can go to an enchanter like Galbadir, or we can activate the souls. And I'm going to do the lesser soul gem with the blighted rat just because it's something I don't care about losing. Do you want to recharge or make an enchanted item? Well, we can recharge a magic item. Let's look at recharge. And this has a charge of 10. And here are the only enchanted items I have that have something available for me to charge them with. My all-healing amulet has a charge of 8. The Belt of Orc Strength has a charge of 74. That's their minimum and maximum. If I use the charge, ideally, I should be able to put all of that charge into the item and increase it by that much on the base. And actually, I'm going to not use that because it's the only one I have available, whereas I have a whole bunch of Flame Atronachs. So I'm going to use a Flame Atronach. Let's do a recharge. Let's try to recharge the all-healing amulet. Ideally, this should give me a charge of 105 points to it. If it fails, though, and this is based on my enchant skill, then I could break the soul gem, it would be lost forever, and I wouldn't get anything out of it. Let's see if I get lucky enough to repair the enchantment. It looks like I have. I didn't get all of it, and I don't know what the recharge rate or anything like that is, but I did get quite a bit in there. So now I can use my all-healing amulet a heck of a lot more. Alternatively, we can try to make an enchanted item, and here's where it gets fun. If you try to make an item yourself, instead of having someone else do it for you, it will cost you no gold whatsoever. However, it is much more difficult to successfully pull this stuff off. And I have the formulas here if you guys want to be interested in looking at them. Here's where the math comes in. And I'm actually going to back out of here, so let me take a look at some of the stats we have here. Kevin's level 30 by now, and his intelligence is 87. His intelligence is going to be a key factor in this. His luck is also 55. It's a minor factor, but it still qualifies. After that, we have our enchant skill, which is level 46. And all 3 of these are involved in the formula when you want to enchant an item. And I'll put the formula up on screen for you here. Here's the cast when used or strikes formula. And if you want to make an item with a constant effect, then here is that formula. You can tell there's quite a significant difference in one point of this. So constant effect is twice as hard to create. In effect, anyway. So let's go back to our inventory here, and I'm going to scroll over to magic. Here's our all-healing amulet stats. Currently has a charge of 97 because we recharged it. And there is the cost, which is 9 points of the charge. So let's plug that into our information here. And I think I might have to go back to our inventory. I'm not sure about everything that I'm going to be presenting to you. I'm trying to remember and read everything in order, so bear with me. Our all-healing amulet that we eventually ended up making was based on a common amulet. And it can restore health by 63 points on self, and it has quite the charge on it. Like, a lot of charge, seriously. And I think I used a Grand Soul Gem for this. I don't remember exactly, but it has quite the charge. Also, other stuff that I have, in case any of you have missed this, is Vulan Min, which means Night Eye in the Dragon Tongue. Pardon my Skyrim nerdology for a second. I put a Night Eye enchantment of 15 points on my helmet, and that was all I could put on it. We will be getting into why this is taking an effect later. The only other one I did was Healing Wall, or Shield, which restores my health 1 to 2 points on self constantly, which has been extremely helpful. Even I don't know how helpful it's been over the course of the game since I have gotten this. However, it will only restore health 1 point per self, and it will never get up to 2 points no matter how often I try to push it to do so. Because the way enchantment works in this game is, it can never hit the maximum if it is a point A to point B, or I should say number A to number B. Yeah, those are numbers, letters. Those are letters, not numbers. But we can never have a restore health 2 points on self, because that's the way constant effect enchantments work in this game. So let's go back down to our all healing amulet. This is the example I'm going to use in showing you how reliable it is to enchant stuff yourself. So that is the power, that is the charge that it has on it. It has a maximum charge of 250. That's quite a lot. Now we jump back over here to our magic. Remember that the cost of this is 9 and the charge, well, it's currently 97, but max charge is 250. Now here's the enchantment formula again. Remember that this item is a cast when used. So let's start plugging things into here. Kevin's enchantment skill is 46, so we're going to put his number 46 in this part of the equation. His intelligence is 87 as of right now, and remember that this is coming after I made the item, so this stuff is in effect now, not back when I first made this. When I first made this, there was everything was quite a bit lower, so Kevin had even less of a chance to cast it then. Kevin's luck is 55, so we'll put that part into here. Now the enchantment points. The enchantment points in this equation are how much cost it is to use the weapon. The enchantment point in the formula stands for how much of the charge it costs to use the item that you have enchanted, if it is a cast when used or strikes. So our all healing amulet has a cost of 9. So it will be 9 points. So the enchantment points value is 9. Now we'll do a little bit of math here, here, and here. Here's what the formula looks like so far. Overall, not too bad. Now let's add all these numbers up to see what Kevin's chance is to make this item right now at his current level with his current stats. That's not too bad. Assuming that my math is right and I understood enchantment accurately enough, this would be Kevin's chance of making another all healing amulet on his own. And this would be a cost-free, aside from the cost of breaking the soul and completely using it up. But this is his chance of making one of these himself. Now what if Kevin had tried to do a constant effect? Well, let's go back to the main formula, plug everything else in. Now we're going to change the cast when used or strikes part of the equation to a constant effect. We'll do that. Already it's starting to look a little bit scary. Remember, we're going to subtract this value. Now we'll do all the little bits of math. Now we'll do all the big bits of math. Okay, yeah, that's much slower. Not all that reliable. And this is why you want to rely on enchanters as much as possible. So now that the math part is all done with, let's take a look at enchantment as far as getting someone to enchant for you. Find somebody who will offer you enchanting services. And please be prepared to spend your life savings and your inheritance, sell your house, mortgage your wedding ring, sell your first child. You are going to have some serious gold loss if you make a really good item. And that is one of the reasons why people would want to take the risk and enchant things themselves. Although with Azura's Star, it's a little bit of so you can do trial and error until something actually works. You get really freaking lucky. So to start this off with, let's choose an item to enchant. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff here that Kevin's wearing. I'm going to somewhat scroll through all of this so you can see what unenchanted items we have. There's actually quite a bit of stuff in here. I got quite a variety of things because there is quite a variety that Kevin can look at. And there's a lot of stuff to compare. I even have a ton of clothes because clothes are really the best thing that we can do. And I tried. I really did try. We do have an exquisite ring. I tried so hard to find an exquisite amulet. I went all throughout every store in Vivek even trying to find an exquisite amulet that had no charge, and I couldn't find one. I just couldn't find one. I have no idea where to buy one at. I even checked the jeweler in town, which I knew had one, and she didn't have it anymore. Maybe I bought it and then sold it to her later, or I lost it, or I don't know. But I could not find an exquisite amulet, which I think has the highest enchantment value in the entire game. I could be wrong, but As far as mortals are available to have, that is the best item for enchantment. So let's scroll over here and look at what Kevin has equipped so far. He's got a bit of glass armor available, and he has Ashkan's Wedding Gift, which is an exquisite shirt, and some exquisite pants. He's also wearing some enchanted rings and some other enchanted equipment that will not appear here, so be aware that his helmet and his right gauntlet and his boots that he is currently wearing will not show up here, as is his shield and weapon. Everything else, though, we can do. So before I jump into looking specifically at one item, and we're going to prepare to enchant something, let's compare some items to show you why you want such high value equipment. Okay, let's go through here and see what we can find. This might work. Common Amulet. Let's take a look at the Common Amulet. The Common Amulet, if you look up in the top right corner, has an enchantment of 0/1. That is actually really low. If something has an enchantment value of 1, don't rely on it. Never ever use it if at all possible. Let's take this out. Next to that, scrolling back over, let's look at the Expensive Amulet, which I think is the second lowest in the game. A little bit weird because it's actually called expensive, but let's put that in here. This has an enchantment of 15. That's a lot better. 15 times better, to be specific. And yeah, that's pretty good. I think that I'm using a expensive amulet right now. It's a different appearance, but this one is certainly prettier. And even though they do look different, and this one seems like it would take more to make, they are actually priced the same. They have the same enchantment value, so they're the same overall. Whoops, my bad. Now let's take a look at some other stuff, because I'm not going to be using the second lowest thing to make whatever I want. Here's an exquisite ring. Now, actually, I'll show you the expensive ring. The expensive ring has an enchantment of 15, like the expensive amulet. But the exquisite ring, oh boy, oh boy. The exquisite ring has an enchantment of 120. Now we're getting into some high stuff here. That is a lot. As far as item enchantment values go, this is a serious lot of enchantment. A serious lot? Is that something that makes sense? I don't know. So let's say that we're going to do an exquisite ring enchantment. Let's put in a soul. I've got all these souls here, but let's take a look at the lowest soul, the petty soul. If I put this in here, it's going to have a charge of 10, which means I can use it about 10 times, or it will have an enchantment value of 10. That's not very much. If it's only going to have a charge of 10, or I use it 10 times, that is really not a lot. So let's take that out. Let's compare it to Azura's Star, which has the Golden Saint in it. Holy crap! 400. I can use that 400 times. And actually, I think that the enchantment value is the full charge. Maybe? I don't know. And actually, the enchantment value, I'll show you in just a moment, so you can tell the difference between the enchantment and charge. But the charge is something you want to have as high as possible. I don't think I'm going to use Azura's Star for this, though, just in case I make a mistake and end up using it. Let's use, let's see, we got Flame Atronachs, Bone Lords. How about an Ash Zombie? This one only has a charge of 100, but the enchantment stays the same, so yeah, no, whatever. We've got cast when used and some other stuff that we can't select. Alright, so what do we want our exquisite ring to have? Well, we can't come over here and do a constant effect yet. That's just not going to work for us. So what do we want? We can cure blight disease, but Kevin's the freaking Reverine, so he doesn't need it. We'll scroll down here and take a look at what we've got. By the way, any magic effects that you want to have on your weapon, you first need to find them in the form of a spell. So if you want to fortify your strength, you need to have a fortify attribute spell. If you want to have a blind spell for some reason, then you'll need to have a blind spell. You can't do a constant effect blind spell because, you know, that'd be ridiculous. I'm looking at you, Boots of Blinding Speed. But let's scroll down in through here and see what we can find. How about fortify attribute? Sure. But let's see if we can fortify our intelligence. Oh, here we go. Range is touch and self, or target. So we can fortify on touch, fortify self, and fortify a target. Target and touch, I think you can tell the difference on, but we're probably going to want to fortify the attributes of ourself. So let's try to fortify our intelligence by how much? I don't know. Let's take a look. Magnitude. This is going to be our minimum number. Let's say we want to fortify it by 30 points to, how about
50 points. 30 to 50 points. And it will last for, how about, let's do 1 minute. Alright, now look up in the top right corner. Our enchantment is already at its max. We cannot push the enchantment number anymore. If we do, okay, this isn't going to work because the ring can't hold this kind of power. So that's not going to work. However, we can come up here and try to adjust things a little bit more. Nope, that's the best we can do with these current numbers, unless we do some more adjustment. So let's say, okay, Fortify Intelligence 30 to 50 points for 60 seconds on self. The casting cost will be 76. That's a lot considering we only have a charge of 100. And that's why you really, really want to use a higher soul gem for whatever you're making. For instance, the All Healing Amulet. Have you guys noticed that I am able to use it frequently, constantly, over and over and over, and it never seems to run out of a charge? Even whenever I use it, if you're staring really hard at that little bar that tells you how much enchant power is left in it, it barely goes down. I have to use it a ton before you can start to see any kind of slow progression. So try to use a soul gem with as high a charge as possible. It will give you the best results. And this is the same for enchanted items as well, because charge will determine how often you can strike them with that effect before it runs out of power and has to recharge. Now take a look at the price. This will cost us 58,137 gold for this kind of ring. Okay, you know what? That is actually not something I really like. So let's take this and change it up a bit. We still want it on self, and I think a minute should be good enough. For this example, let's say that the minute is good enough. But the magnitude, we want up more than 50, and 30, I don't know. Let's see if we can adjust this. Let's move magnitude all the way down to 1 to 50. Okay, that seems reasonable, and our enchantment and the price and everything else seems to have gone down. Not bad, I suppose. So that means we can move this up, right? Let's move it up until the enchantment can't take any more. There, magnitude is 1 to 79. Even though I had 30 to 50 before, now we could get almost to 79. 78 is the maximum for 1 minute, and the charge cost is about the same, and we may have to use it more than once if we really want to get the effect we desire. But as far as practical use goes, it's a lot more valuable, I would say, than anything else. I would say this is a lot more valuable than what we first looked at. And yeah, if we do get a really low magnitude value, it's not going to be that wonderful for us. It's really not. But in comparison, we could get something really high. And really, if you're going to enchant stuff and you're going to plop down a whole lot of money, you're going to want something you could probably rely on. And you're probably not going to be using this for mid-battle stuff. If you are, then you're going to want to carry a lot of soul gems to recharge it, because you're going to be using up 76 of your 100 charge points. That's a lot, and who knows how long it's going to take to recharge. By the way, the higher your enchantment skill, the faster things will recharge. That's pretty good. Okay, but let's take this out for now. Let's take a look at, let's say we want to use this on somebody. So, what do we want to do to somebody? How about we damage their health? Let's do, how about 10 points to 30 points for 5 seconds, and the area is how many feet in an area it'll affect them by. It's okay. I mean, if you want to attack more than one character at once, go ahead and boost up the area however much you want. Just be aware that as you do, the enchantment cost and everything will increase quite a bit. And actually, that's not too bad. 50 feet, just be aware that if you hurt somebody who is nice to you, they may not be so friendly in the future. But let's keep this as just one character. And actually, let's boost this to 10. That actually boosted our enchantment level quite a bit, so I'm going to bring it back down to 5. So, damage health, 10 to 30 points for 5 seconds. I'm actually going to want to target this. Okay, that changed some things up. Compare the target to touch. Touch is a lot cheaper than target. So, whoops. Come on. There we go. So this will only take effect if you cast on touch. Personally, I prefer to just stab them when they come up close. I'm not going to be switching to a ring at that point, so I prefer to use a weapon over enchanted items that cast an effect when touched. So this is not something I will personally use, but for the sake of this example, we will go ahead and do this. Damage health 10 to 30 for 5 seconds on touch. That's pretty good, but we've got quite a bit of enchantment stuff left on there. It seems like kind of a waste, especially if you have more money than that. So maybe we could do something more with that. What else can we put on this thing? How about fire damage? Oh dear, our enchantment has suddenly doubled even though we haven't done anything for it. This is what they call compounding effects. So I'll get into the formula in just a minute, but let's try to add some stuff on here and see what we can do. We're going to want to take this a lot slower, so let's do one. We're going to also have this last for 5 seconds. How about we increase this to 25 maximum, and how much can we get on here? How about 15 to 33? And I'm boosting this very slowly. There we go. How about 23 to 42 fire damage on, whoops, we want that on target. Oops, now it's too much. Okay, we gotta bring it down. Let's do 15 to 20. Nope, gotta bring it down more. There we go. 1 to 20 points for 5 seconds fire damage on target. Okay. Oops, did I want that? Let's change that back to touch then. Now it's a lot better. And what did we have it before? Let's do 15 to 40. How about 20 to 40? 22? 22 to 42. Can we improve it any more? One more point. Okay. So that's how much damage it will do on touch. You'll notice that if you add more than one enchantment on there, the enchantment level goes up quite a bit more. Here is the formula for compounding effects. Holy crap. And here's what everything on there means. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do this formula. Any math whizzes out there, you can do that yourself. I'm not touching it. But you get the idea that if you want more than one effect on something, it's going to cost a lot more in terms of enchantment, cast cost, and the price. Especially the price. Oh my gosh, look at how much that's already costing. So I'm not going to do this right now because this was just an example. But let's back out of here and let's try to do some serious enchanting. Before we get into some serious enchanting, well, first thing you should probably do is go over all of your spells. And everything in here is something that we can add to something. And by the way, if you're going to do like a summon or a bound weapon, Conjuration is probably not something you want to have on you, especially as a constant effect. I guess there are some other weapons and armor in the game where you can do a summon or bound object to yourself, but they can be very glitchy. I would not suggest that you get into that if at all possible, because you could break your game. And here's some other stuff that you can look through. Yeah, how about you cast Soul Trap on yourself? Okay, no. But there's a whole lot of things on here. You can pick and choose, and I did grab a few more spells in between episodes just to prepare for things that we could do here. Yeah, look how much restore health stuff I have. You really only need one, but I got all of these other things to try to improve my restoration skill at some point. Not doing very well on that. Need to focus on this stuff. I even have a Cure Blight Disease on target. Even though it says that, I could probably get a Cure Blight Disease on myself, even though it's not really something you really have to worry about in this game because, as we showed, Nerevering. And I don't know if we can get Sanctuary because it's a power, I'm not sure. But anything that you have in your spell list, that's something that you can have on yourself. By the way, I have a ton of active effects. You guys seeing that up there? Every time I look at it, it's just, wow, I have so many resistances and boosts, and it's incredible. So before we actually get into the enchanting, let's take a look at some of the stuff that we have available to us. There are a lot of artifacts in this game. One question that you might be asking yourself is, well, how powerful are the enchantments of all the artifacts that are available to you? How powerful are they, and can they be any more powerful? Well, for starters, let's take a look at the Fist of Randagulf Gauntlet. You'll notice that the armor rating here is 39. The highest heavy armor in the game is Daedric armor, and that has an armor value of 34. This is very important because even though it is heavy armor and Kevin is for the most part a light armor wearer, the Fist of Randagulf, both of them, and I'm only wearing one of them right now, is the strongest heavy armor in the game. Now let's take a look at the enchantment. Fortify Strength, 20 points on self, constant effect. Can we recreate this with a Daedric Gauntlet? And we actually do have, that we've been carrying around forever, a Right Glass Bracer. So Kevin could be wearing all light armor. But could we probably get a substitute in the right glass bracer, or even if we put it onto the cuirass that he's wearing. Fist of Randagulf. Fortify strength, 20 points on self. Alright, let's see if we can recreate this. Let's go down to Enchanting, and let's put on Azura's Star, because we want to try our very hardest to make this happen. How about... yeah, let's go with the right glass bracer that he already has. See if we can do a recreation. Okay, it's got an enchantment of 10. That's actually rather low compared to what we were just looking at, but, you know, whatever. And because it's a Grand Soul that we have an Azura's Star or a Grand Soul Gem, we can do a constant effect. We can do cast when used or constant effect. If you're going to wear something, constant effect might be better just for the fact that it's something you don't have to worry about. Like Heart Wall. Every time I put on the Boots of Blind Speed, I have to cast Heart Wall. That might be something I'll look into while we're doing this today. I don't know. But for now, we want to try to fortify attribute, strength, magnitude. If we want it to have exactly 20 points by 20 points, let's boost it by 20 points. On self, okay. Okay! It's not going to work. Enchantment is 100 of 10. Yeah, that's not going to work. So, nope, not the right glass bracer. Let's take that off and let's put on the Daedric bracer. Daedric is a strong thing, right? It should have a really high enchantment cost. It does, but not high enough. So the Fist of Randagulf is very much a legendary enchanted artifact. How did they do that? What kind of armory is that? How did they get that much enchantment power on it? I have no idea, but it is stronger than the Daedric Left Gauntlet in every sense. You cannot, absolutely cannot, create something more powerful with the strongest heavy armor available to us mundanes in the game. You need to have either god powers or moderator powers. But the Fist of Randagulf is very much a unique artifact. We cannot recreate it. Okay, so that's one. Let's see if there's any other stuff we can make. Kevin also has, where is it? A glass poison sword. And that's actually a bad example. Glass fire sword. Okay, also a bad example, not what I was looking for. If you want a set amount of damage, you can only do like 7 points. And that's what most of them come with. I don't know if I actually have any on here. Let me see. I don't see anything. Okay, well, never mind. Unless this is it? Nope. But we've got cast when strikes on these weapons. And that's something that you'd really want to have on a weapon. You don't want to cast when used because, you know, that's ridiculous. You're not going to hold out your weapon to use something on yourself. That, I mean, you know, come on, that's just stupid. You want a cast when strikes on your weapon. I tried to enchant a regular glass lawn sword to give me as much power, if not more power, than something I had picked up just off the road and wherever. And I couldn't do it. I could make something equally powerful, but in no way could I make something more powerful unless I tweaked the minimum and maximum damage points. So that was a disappointment, but I learned something about enchanting that day. How about, we can't do Skull Crusher because we don't have anything of equal value. So what else do we have in here? We got a lot of Daedric stuff. We've got spears, blunt weapon, axe, no, two-handed axe, blunt weapon, one-handed, and a short blade one-handed. And also this ebony mace, but, you know, we've got Daedric stuff. I would want anything else. We've got a Daedric Daikatana, a lawn blade, which is two-handed. Well, two-handed means that it probably is more expensive, it's heavier, it can hold a little bit more on the enchantment level. So let's see if we want to replace any of our weapons with this. And it is a weight of 60 pounds, so I'm probably not going to replace anything I have with this enchanted Daedric weapon, but let's compare it. Let's take a look at it just to be sure. What other kind of stuff do we have in here? There's the damage health, and we're just looking at the enchantments. So poison, fire damage, I bet paralyzed for 10 seconds, that's pretty good. Feather, 15 points. Well, how about we look at something a little bit more closer to home? The Fang of Haynekhtnamet. I'm never going to be able to pronounce that word. It's got shock damage 20 to 40 points. And this is just a short blade. A little short blade. One-handed short blade. Surely we can make something more powerful than that with a Daedric weapon, right? Let's try it out. Shock damage 20 to 40 points. I don't know if what the results will be. You're going to find out along with me just how powerful we can make this. 20 to 40 points. Daedric Daikatana. And that was shock damage, right? Let's see if we have a shock damage in here. Here we go. Shock damage. Let's do the same thing. Target? Let me see here. I think instead of cast when used, we're going to want to change that over there to cast when strikes. There we go. Back down to shock damage. Alright. So range... What is it? Touch? I think I'm going to want it on target. I don't know. Cast when strikes, shock damage on target. Okay. So it was 20 to 40 points, right? 20 to 40. Duration is, well, you know. How about... I didn't see that. Let's do 5. No area. Okay. We can't do it. Daedric Daikatana can't match the power of the Dragon's Fane Dagger. So, it is very much an artifact. What if we change this, though? What if we move the duration down to 1? Okay, now we can probably match it, but it's only going to do an instant point of damage. And things that have a longer duration, they do not the 20 points over time or 40 points over time. No, it's a constantly zapping effect that lasts for that long. If it lasts for, let's say 120 seconds, 2 minutes, it's not going to take 2 minutes to do 20 to 40 points of damage. No, it's going to do the 20 to 40 points constantly over a long period of time. And we certainly can't have an enchantment on it. I mean, 1,260, that's ridiculous. So let's move it all the way back down to 1. So just for 1 second, it'll do 20 to 40 points of damage. Now, if we're going to assume that the shock enchantment does not really last over a period of time, then we could do better. We really could do better. What if we want it to do exactly 40 points? Okay, we can do that and more. Let's boost it up a bit more. Let's do, how about 70? Can we handle 70? No, not quite. What about 65? Not quite 65. Oh, here we go. We can do exactly 62 points of damage constantly. But remember what I showed you before? How about we make this a bit more random? All the way to 100. And what's the minimum that we could do? Here we go. 24 to 100 points in 1 second. That's a powerful weapon. So we say, okay, shock damage on touch. Well, we don't really want on touch. Why did we have it on touch? Do target. Okay, well, now the enchantment cost is much higher. And we can't move the minimum down too much. So let's keep this at 10 and move it down a bit more. Whoop, a little too far. 10 to 72. Okay. That's not bad. But it's going to cost us over 10,000 gold. How much gold do we have anyway? Let's take a look. Kevin is really rich. He's got, wow, over 333,000 gold. Okay. So now let's make something for real. Let's try to figure out something that we can enchant for real. We might want to start this off by checking out Kevin's regular apparel. He does have the healing wall, and I don't know if we could actually improve this anymore. I did the best I could with what I had available. We could probably use a Daedric Shield or an Ebony Shield. We have quite a few shields back at the house, but I don't want to carry heavy armor around. So what we see is what we got. And glass armor has very low enchantment levels. So don't rely on glass armor for very long if you want to make a super powerful enchanted piece of armor that you want to wear constantly. I mean, you could, but it certainly wouldn't be super powerful. Heavy armor, medium armor, they have much better reasonable levels. But if you want something even better than armor, you want clothing. That's why I have the exquisite pants and the Ashcan's wedding gift. These are the highest quality shirt and pants we can wear. And by the way, you want to know why mages wear robes? Ho ho ho. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Let's put on the exquisite pants in here. This is an enchantment of 60. The pants are only half as strong as the strongest ring in the game for enchantment cost. That's a lot. Seriously, that is a lot. How about the shirt? Also 60. These are really freaking strong. Seriously. But I don't want to enchant those just yet. Not just yet. Let's take a look at some other stuff we have in here. Let's take a real close look. How about an exquisite belt? Okay. I've been using the Belt of Orc Strength from time to time to help me carry some stuff out of dungeons after the episode's end. When I get over encumbered, it's really, really useful. In fact, it's helped me a lot just trying to get everything over here to this place where I drop it all, run back and forth between here and my house and pick stuff up. So I'm going to make a new belt with a strength enchantment on it. Okay, but before I do that, once again, let's compare it to what I already have. Belt of Orc Strength, and this is a common belt, by the way, so surely we can make something better, right? Fortify Strength, 5 to 20 points, cast when used for 30 seconds. So 5, 20, 30, cast when used. Let's see if we can make this a constant effect. Just because we can. If we can't do it, then I could probably make something better with a cast when used. So constant effect, it's only got an enchantment value of 40. Let's go down to Fortify Attribute and do Strength. This is a constant effect, by the way. Fortify Strength on self. So at 0, it's already taken up 5 of the enchantment. Here we go. Magnitude. It was 5 to 20. Let's move it all the way up to... Oh, we can't even go all the way up to 20. How about 10? Can we do 10? No, we can't. So already, the Exquisite Belt can't do the Orc Strength as far as constant effect enchantments go. So, what if we change this to cast when used? Oh, well, that's much easier. In fact, how strong can we do the cast when used? Good biscuits and gravy, that's a long time. What about the duration? Okay, that's not very long. 100 points for 10 seconds? Not that great. So let's move it down to, just to experiment and see what's available. Let's move it down to 40 points. For how long? Well, we could do it for 20 seconds, but that's less time than the Belt of Orc Strength. What if we move it down to exactly 30 so that there is no more of the roulette wheel involved? Well, we can do it for 27 seconds, but once again, not quite the same. So let's move it back to a constant effect. Holy cow, that's a lot. Now let's change the magnitude. So I'm going to keep this at 1, and the area, we don't need to affect anybody else with this. I mean, come on, seriously. So let's move this to as high as we can get it, which is 40. Magnitude 1 to 15. As far as constant effect goes, it will not be better than the Belt of Orc Strength. It just can't, and this is the highest quality belt that we have available in the game. Well, I'm probably going to want to think about this a little bit more before I replace the belt, and because of the magnitude, I'd have to constantly put this belt back on and off if I want to get 14, which is the highest possible available to us with this particular enchantment. Not going to work. I'm not really sold on this. So let's delete this and find something else we can enchant, because enchanting is serious business, and we only have 3 grand soul gems, so if we want to do a constant effect, we got to be careful about what we choose to enchant. Ashken's Wedding Gift? Maybe. It does have a higher enchantment value, and we do have a whole bunch of runes we could equip, but I've also got a lot of artifact runes, which, as we've already proved, are a heck of a lot stronger. How about an Exquisite Robe? 40. Okay. Not bad. Although the Exquisite Shirt and Pants are better. But an Exquisite Robe with a constant effect, you can see why wizards would wear robes. I guess. Sort of. Maybe not. I'm not as sold as I was 10 minutes ago. Anything else that we could do? Let's go all the way to the end of the list. What do we have at the very back of the row here? Okay, we got papers. And you can actually enchant any paper with any level of enchantment. All you really have to pay for is the cost of making the spell. Even if the enchantment is higher than the enchantment level, you don't have to worry about it, but the price will be really high, so be aware of that. We've got an Extravagant Sapphire Amulet. Well, I guess Extravagant is the second most expensive one in the game. So, if we take this, and we do Restore Health, how high could we... Well, then we're not going to want a constant effect, I think. I mean, we probably could. We could do a constant effect. But just for curiosity's sake. And this is something that blew me away whenever I first created my all-healing amulet. Restore health. Okay, let's do, on self. Duration, let's do maybe 2, I don't know. Let's stick with 1. What we currently have is 63, so How high can we push this? My word. We can heal ourselves 100 points entirely if we cast this when used for 2 seconds. For 2 seconds we'd get 100 points of healing. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if it would heal us by 200 points overall. I'm not entirely sure how the calculations work. But already you can see that an extravagant sapphire amulet, so much better than what we currently have. But that's a cast when used. What if we were to change our amulet that we're currently wearing to a constant effect? Holy crap, that's a lot. So let's move that down to, let's do 20. Well, that is a bit more reasonable, but maybe take it down to 10. Maybe down to 5. You can already see that if you want a constant effect on yourself, it is expensive. Really expensive. And I guess you could probably do something like this, but I don't know. See, this alone, it'd be worth more than our healing wall, but I don't know. Taking it off and back on and then accidentally having it unequipped whenever we're scrolling through our magic items to use, it could make it kind of a hassle to get the strongest enchantment available, so not really sold on that, no. So I was saying that I'd like to do some full real enchantment here, but really it's very difficult to find things that you want to make an enchantment on. You're limited by the enchantment level of whatever you're making, and then you're limited by the price, and oh my gosh, the prices. Oh my gosh, the prices. Well, let's see. Greaves, how much do they have? 10? What about the Cuirass? Okay, it's got 12. Let's play around with this. Let's give us a constant effect from the glass Cuirass. And we're going to be wearing it constantly, and we do have one other at least. Kevin is taking off a lot of his armor right now, and clothes, so Gobletier is probably getting a little bit uncomfortable around us right now. Let's find something that we can give Kevin a constant effect on. How about damage health? No, I'm just kidding. What can we do? Detect animal? And by the way, all of these things have a level on them that determine how much of the enchantment it's going to take up. I think I'll show that right now. How about detect animal on self? Just at 0 we have 3. Okay. How about fire damage? 25. Now we're probably not going to want to do fire damage constant effect on self, but there's quite a bit on here. How about fortify strength? That's also 5. Detect animal is what again? 3. So we could do a detect animal and get a higher charge than if we were fortifying some of our attributes. A little while ago I showed you that we could run into some problems if we're trying to get something to replace the belt of Orc strength. It's difficult. It really is difficult. But here's another idea. And this is going to be another example. I don't know if I'll actually do this, but let's take a look at fortify strength. What if we were to fortify strength by a certain amount? So we could do 2 to 3 points. It'd probably only give us 2. And it'd be fortify on self. Okay. And that's actually not all that expensive. And because of the way enchantment works, remember, we'd only get fortify strength by 2 points. Okay, that kind of sucks. But what if we were to do that with all of our glass items? We could really boost Kevin's strength. Or we could boost his intelligence for magic casting. Or, if we're really desperate, we could give him a constant boost on luck. In fact, let's take a look at this. Can we change our fortify to... Let's see if we can fortify our luck, and maybe it would be different. No, it doesn't look like it. 5, 5. Yep. So we could only enchant fortify attribute, and it would have the same enchantment power. Okay, well that's a little bit disappointing. How about fortify magic? Nothing really. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that we can't do a restore magic constant effect, because in order to do that you need a restore magic spell, which costs magic to use in the first place, and that's a little bit ridiculous. So yeah, we're not going to find one of those anytime soon. However, we can do resist magic. Constant effect on self? Well, it looks like we can't really get a lot out of it. So maybe we shouldn't use the glass cuirass for a constant effect. Maybe a cast when used on self, but probably not for a constant effect, unless we could find something. Spell absorption? Yeah, right. How about telekinesis? Telekinesis could be fun. We could give Kevin a little bit more of a range for picking stuff up. That seems decent. So we could give him 0 to 4 telekinesis on self forever, and we're probably not going to be taking this off except to use Heart Wall on self. So maybe we won't do that. That's probably something we should look into though. Can we make anything? Maybe a necklace that has a resist magic effect, and we could have that a constant theme. And we might have a little bit of a problem when we're switching between our all healing amulet, but Kevin hasn't really had to do that all that much. So maybe we can find something. Do we have an exquisite amulet? Yes, we do. Extravagant sapphire amulet. Anything else though, just for looks? Nope. Yeah. Extravagant sapphire amulet will be the best that we have. So that's got an enchantment of 60. Constant effect. Let's see if we can get a resist magic on here. How high can we make this go? But if we bring this down, because we're going to put this one on once and then leave it here, so we don't really need to have everything like 8 to 8. Every time I put it on, it will be exactly 8. Well, you know, whatever. We don't need to have it constantly. We could have it 0 to, well, 10. We could try to get it a permanent 10% resist magic, which could start to counter the heart wall, but is that worth it? I don't think it is, because of the amulet that we'd be taking off all the time. Such is my opinion though, so once again, I don't think it's worth spending all our souls and items and money on something like that. Well, there is one more thing at least I will do, that I have been wanting to do. The Daedric Shield. Let's take a look at the regular. This one has an enchantment of 150. Now we scroll over here. Daedric Tower Shield. An enchantment of 225. Oh my gosh. And let's see, I believe that we have another glass shield in here somewhere. Well, this isn't a glass tower shield, but this has an enchantment of 30. And our glass tower shield, the healing wall that we have, has an enchantment max of 45. So with that in mind, how about we go down here to Restore Health, and you can see that I have it like 1 to 2 points for our heart wall. I can't move it above what we've already got because it's got a limit of 45. This is the best I could do for our heart wall. It's a bit disappointing, but you know, whatever. But maybe I could be persuaded to use a Daedric Tower Shield. What if I was to use a heavy armor, which Kevin is not very good with, and have a constant restore health enchantment on here? Let's start boosting this and see what we can do. And it is on self, so let's see what we can do. We could have restore health 9 points per second constantly. People out there who like heavy armor, take note. This is probably one of the best choices you could do in the game. But remember, it costs a lot. A whole lot. Like a third of Kevin's current funds. I could probably do this. I could be persuaded to do this. If you want Kevin to have this, then I guess write in the comments below right now. Yeah, let's change him out for heavy armor. Let's give him a heavy tower shield. Well, I don't think Kevin's going to be very good at that. I mean, his heavy armor skill is like 12 compared to his light armor, which is like 75, 85, something like that. But yeah, heavy armor, if you like it, go ahead. Just be aware that your carry weight would be permanently increased. And you can actually counter this too. If you really like heavy armor and you don't want to lose anything from it, how about you fortify strength on some of your heavy armor? They can carry a stronger enchantment. So, how about we increase strength by 14? Can we do 14? Yes, we can. In fact, we can do more than this. Let's increase it even further. How about 30? We can do 30. We can increase it even more. Let's increase it even more. How about 50? Well, that's about good enough. But what if you want to gamble? What if you have no other shields, you never use another shield? You could get up to fortify strength by 92 points by equipping and unequipping your shield until you get the highest amount. Oh, maybe that's a little bit too much. There, 89, so you could get up to 88. If you're really worried about heavy armor taking up so much of your carry weight, this is how you can counteract it. And this is one of the coolest things about enchanting in this game. You can counter your armor weight value, pretty much. And every 1 point of your strength that you increase, that's another 5 points of carry weight. That's crazy.
So that would give us 88 points of strength increase. 88 multiplied by 5 is, hold on, let me get out my calculator here. That enchantment alone at maximum would give you 440 points of extra carry weight. That's crazy. And how much does it weigh in general? 45. So your net gain would be 395 extra points of carry weight at no cost. If you're good with heavy armor over anything else in the game, enchant it like that, and you're set. You are totally set. Kevin's wearing a whole bunch of light armor right now, and I'm starting to be a little bit torn on whether I should keep on using light armor, because if I could enchant heavy armor to have fortified strength, Kevin could pack around as much as he's carrying right now. That's a lot. That is a crazy lot. His strength would be through the roof. And his strength is already boosted by the Fist of Randagulf. Which, oh yeah, now Kevin looks naked. Young ones, avert your eyes. Fortified strength 20 points, and I don't think anything else is doing this. Maybe he's got the Belt of Orc strength on as well. But his base strength is 100, and it's being boosted to 122. Imagine if it was boosted through the roof, how strong he would be. He would be insanely strong. You could boost all of these, and it would be crazy. So, going back into enchanting, we probably have one more question. Or maybe you've forgotten about it. What if Kevin wants to do this himself? What if Kevin wants to create these super powerful weapons by himself and not rely on an enchanter? How much would that take? Well, let's take a look at it. I'm going to boost it to, what was it again? Let's see. Boost it to 89 points. Okay. Fortify strength to 89 points. That's pretty cool, and it would cost him over 100,000 gold. Nearly 109,000 gold. That's a lot of money. I've been playing this game for almost 90 episodes at this point, and that's a third of my money. I have done some enchanting in the past, and I've paid for glass armor right out of my pocket. I've picked up stuff, I've sold stuff, and I only have 333,000 gold right now. That's not a number to shy away at. That's an impressive amount. I wonder if I could break 1 million by the time the whole series is over and done with. That would be something. I might actually make that a plan of mine. But that is a lot of gold. And maybe you want to break 1 million and you don't want to spend on something like this, even though this is a great deal. What if you want to do this yourself? Well, thankfully someone else has already done the calculations for this, because I would have a headache if I tried to do it myself. What exactly would you have to get your levels to? How high would you have to get your intelligence or your enchant skill or anything like that? Well, let's say you only work on one. You're only going to work on one of those, and you want to have a 100% chance to do any kind of enchantment yourself and come out of it perfect. Everything you make, everything you enchant yourself would come out 100% perfect because you fortified your skills high enough. Well, your intelligence, if you just fortify your intelligence, you would have to push that to 4,900. 4,900 if you want a perfect enchantment just based on your intelligence. Maybe you'd like to just boost your enchant. That's actually a better idea, but you would have to fortify your enchant to 1,225. That is a lower number, but good luck finding a Fortify enchant. You see, the thing is, we have Fortify attribute, we have Fortify magic, and those are pretty good. But these are not Fortify skills. These are Fortify attribute and magic. And we could also get a Fortify health, we could get a Fortify fatigue, but those aren't Fortify skills. You would have to go out and get a different spell, and I don't know how much they would cost in comparison. You would have to pay someone to enchant enough items to get enough of a boost to push you at or close to 1,225 in your enchant skill, or even just skip that altogether and fortify your intelligence to 4,900. That's crazy. That's really insane. And I guess you could argue that you could boost it with potions. You could get something like this to fortify your alchemy. But then again, how much can you fortify it by?
And really, this is kind of like game-breaking information here, and I'm certainly not going to get into it because I like to play the game fairly vanilla. I don't like doubling up on all my skills and breaking everything. I mean, that's crazy, and it kind of takes the fun out of the game when you can kill anything and everything. I still like being scared by the ash vampires and stuff like that. I'm a little nervous about fighting Dagoth in the end of the game, so that worries me a little bit too. But if you really, really want to create anything you want and cost you nothing, you're going to have to put down a whole lot of gold if you want to get to that point. Or you could raise those skills on your own as best you can and then fortify them and hope you get lucky when you're enchanting something with the Azura Star, because the Azura Star won't break even though you'd have to keep on capturing souls over and over. That's a lot to do. That's a lot to rely on. It's really crazy. So either way, enchanting is going to cost you money. Maybe you'll get lucky enough if something is a low enough level in the cast cost that you can make stuff on your own, and it's completely possible, but it's not very reliable. And this has a 100% success rate. So enchanting is probably, I mean, alchemists would argue this, but I would say that enchanting is the most powerful skill in the game to have and master. It's incredible. I mean, it can get you this freaking Daedric Tower Shield, and you can rename it whatever you want, so you could call it Goliath's Shield for all I care. How about Samson's Shield? How about Samson's Jawbone of an... Okay, never mind. But you get the idea. Enchantment is insane, and it got me the All-Healing Amulet, which did cost me quite a bit of money, and it's not even the most powerful I could have had. I mean, it's only a common amulet. The All-Healing Amulet we have right now, it's only a common amulet. We could get something even crazier. Not to mention all the constant effect stuff that we could probably get away with if you get something that's strong enough level. That's why you want to pay for top quality items if you're going to enchant something. I mean, you could go in here with just your common amulet, but as you saw, it only had an enchantment level of 1, and that's terrible. It's really terrible. I mean, maybe you can make a cast on target with it, but there's a whole bunch of enchantment stuff that I've probably forgotten to tell you guys. And we've done a lot of comparison, we've done a lot of looking into stuff. I guess I haven't found anything that I really want to make, because I do have some artifacts in the form of rings. I do have some artifacts that I don't want to replace my glass armor values with, because I like my glass armor and it's really strong. And even the Boots of Blinding Speed are an incredible enchantment that can't outdo the boots I have right now. Actually, let's take a look at that. The Boots of Blinding Speed, it's got Fortify Speed 200 points, but Blind 100%, and this actually is a problem. But we can't do something similar where we have a positive effect and a negative effect and expect it to come out at a lower enchantment cost or to cost less. The enchantment cost will go up and it will cost us more, so this is kind of a ridiculous item to make in the first place. I mean, you have to make this item, and why would you spend Blind 100% on self? Maybe if you're selling it to somebody in particular that you know would go for this, I don't know. But if you're going to Fortify Speed 200 points on yourself, actually I think that's going to be the last thing we're going to do. Last thing we're going to do is try to Fortify Speed with some glass boots and see how high we can make it. Last thing, Fortify Attribute Speed. On self, constant effect. What can we do here? Yeah. We can't even go to 3. Just 2. We could fortify our speed by 2. What are those Boots of Blinding Speed made out of? They look like fur boots? I don't know. And there's probably some light armor that has a higher enchantment cost. I'm assuming that light armor actually... Most light armor would have a better enchantment cost. I don't know if I have any in here. I suppose I can check. Here's some heavy leather boots, which are light. Yeah, we don't have any other... We don't have any light armor that isn't glass. I've sold everything. I guess we can take a look. Yeah, heavy leather boots have an enchantment of 2. That's just a no-no. But even stuff like this. A Daedric Battle Axe, it's got an enchantment of 16. You can make something pretty darn awesome from that. How about a Daedric Dagger? It's got an enchantment of 6. And that's not very much. But you compare that to like a glass Jink Blade or whatever. I don't know if I have any in here. How about a glass Longsword? That's got an enchantment level of 3. That's how much I'm using. Compare that to the Daedric Dagger, which is 3 times the enchantment. That's insane. And the bow, to my knowledge, you don't want to do a cast when strikes, because it's weird somehow the way bows work or arrows, so I would not recommend enchanting your bow unless you look into it a little bit more and get specifics on which one to use. Because if you do cast and strikes, the game is expecting you to hit them with your bow, and let's be honest, that's stupid. It's never going to happen. The game won't even allow you to do it, but that's got a good enchantment cost on it. Still, there's a whole lot of enchantment things you can do. There's armor, there's weapons, there's clothes you can wear under and over your armor, there's rings, amulets. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. A whole bunch of different levels that you can do enchantment with. It's crazy, the stuff that you could do here. We could probably give Kevin an exquisite robe that we find somewhere. He'd wear that over his armor and he'd look fabulous while fighting with incredible power and defense. And he doesn't wear a robe. Kevin doesn't wear a robe. Personally, because I think it looks stupid, even though if we get like a constant effect robe, it would be very beneficial for him. But I don't do it just because I think it looks stupid. And that's something that you could do. If you're not worried about Kevin's or your own character's appearance, you can put on a robe. You can give him a belt. You could give him shoes instead of boots. You could make him wear no helmet. You could give him a hat. You could do whatever the heck you want. And I've got to put on my armor again because Kevin, he's starting to look a little bit insane. Oh, there went my Boots of Blinding Speed effect that I had on him, so I'm going to need to fix that later on. Oops. Yep, and that ruined it, so now I'm going to have to fiddle with my enchantments again if I want to get back up to speed. But there's a whole lot of stuff you can do with enchantments in this game. I think it's really crazy. You could enchant your arrows, your darts, your whatever. I mean, some of the artifacts in this game, they have insane effects on them. The artifacts really are special artifacts. There's no way you could duplicate them. They really are that crazy, and I brought in a ton of stuff. I didn't even use like a fifth of these things to prove my point. The Amulet of Slow Falling. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that you want to have. This particular amulet right here, the amulets that look like that, they're strong. They are absolutely strong. I was going to show you more of the enchanted items compared to the regular items, but I didn't have quite as many items to enchant as I thought I had. I wanted more jewelry and clothing, but I didn't quite collect them, which is the reason I've been picking up some of the other stuff for enchanting later on, and, well, this stuff in here is all I have right now, so you can see how much progress I made on that. But you guys have some information now. You could probably try to look into enchanting a little bit more on your own if you have Morrowind, or if you want to know more about Morrowind. I can put a link to the enchantment page that I was referencing in the video description below. You can go down there and look through some stuff if you're more interested in enchanting. You guys have been wanting the enchantment episode for a while, and I know this video was very long, over an hour it seems to be. This video did take a lot of work, and I highly doubt that there's anybody out there who's going to want to sit through the entire theme, because if you're not interested in enchanting, okay, it's boring, I'll admit that. I mean, there's only so much entertainment value I can put into what is essentially a classroom, which is where you guys are right now. Did that scare some of you? What am I doing on my summer break? I don't want to learn things about a video game. Okay, you learn things about a video game, not just stuff you're going to have a test on later. There's no test, don't worry. Maybe I'll bring some stuff up in later episodes to reference this episode. Well, this isn't really an episode, it's more like a video, but I don't know. Anyway, that's all the information I have for you guys on enchanting. If you did like this video about enchanting, and I haven't said this in a while, but click the like button to let me know that you actually did appreciate the enchantment of the episode. You did appreciate the effort put into this, or you liked what you saw in general. And if you know somebody who's about to get into Morrowind, or is playing Morrowind, and you think that they might be interested in learning the finer points of enchanting, then share this video with them. Share this video with anybody you think might be interested. I probably could have done a better job preparing some other stuff in advance, but I got everything I could. I am really quite sad that I wasn't able to find an exquisite amulet before this episode came out, but I tried my darn hardest. Vivek doesn't have any of them for sale anywhere. Trust me, I checked every freaking store. I couldn't find jack squat. But there's a lot to take out of enchanting from this video, and I hope you guys did enjoy it. Maybe you have some people you'd like to share it to. In any case, if you stuck around this long throughout the video, I wish I could say there's a prize for you, but I don't have anything. But I do hope that you guys did enjoy this, and it was informative for you. Hopefully you learned some things about why I have and have not made some enchantments. This is the strongest night vision helmet I could make with glass armor. Maybe I could do something different with other light armor, but I don't know. I really like the defensive thing that I have going on here. If you guys think that Kevin should probably start dumping money into heavy armor training for the next little while to work up to getting a Daedric tower shield that he can actually carry around and actually support his strength, which he does have the money to do, let me know that in the comments below. If you guys have any enchantment suggestions, tell me in the comments below. If you have anything you would like to see, any questions you might have on enchanting that you couldn't find out for yourself because you couldn't find it or you're too lazy, I'm not going to judge, or just anything like that or anything of the sort, just let me know and I'll try to answer your questions. I might direct you to some place that has the information you want. I might consider what you're saying to actually make an enchantment of that level. In fact, in future regular episodes, if you suggest an enchantment for something, I can probably give you reasons why or why not I could enchant something. Kevin is pretty much one of the richest characters in the entirety of the game right now. Maybe Vivek and Almalexia are richer than he is, but you know, they're demigods, so they can do whatever the heck they want.
But if you guys do have anything related to enchantment on the items and stuff that you would like to see or suggest, I've already said this, but let me know. Just let me know if there's anything that you would like to see happen or anything you would like to know because of this episode. I will do my best to create or build off of your suggestions. This will be a constantly in effect video, so if people of the distant future are watching this and the series is still going on, you can leave comments in this video or the current video of whatever Morrowind episode happens to come out now, and I can consider that enchanting, and I can consider that sort of enchantment if you would like to see it. It doesn't matter if you leave a comment here or in future videos. I see all comments that everybody posts on any kind of video, so just anything anywhere is perfectly fine, whatever you want to say in any place. But I think that's all I have to say about it. That's all the information I could say about anything related to enchanting. If I have forgotten anything, let me know if you have a question. Let me know if there's something I missed. I could actually make a second enchantment video where I go over things I didn't cover. If I did and you want to see more information, most of you probably aren't going to say anything because you're like, oh my gosh, this was so freaking long. But it really was. And I was going into this recording expecting it to take a long time. According to what I've got now, I've been recording for almost an hour and 20 minutes, which is absolutely insane. If any of you had the patience to last this long, I don't know if I should thank you or pity you. But thank you for joining me for this episode, and I hope it taught you enough stuff. I hope you learned some things, maybe some stuff you wanted to learn. And I think I'm going to stop talking here because I don't know if there's anything more to say. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys on whatever episode of Morrowind happens to be out now. I look forward to any suggestions you have. Take care, have a fun day whenever this happens to come out, and I will see you in the Morrowind LP. Take care.